Hey everyone, welcome back to Live with Purpose. I'm Anna Lawson, your host, and I created this space to inspire you to really connect with your true self, to ask that life-changing question, what do I want? What is my purpose? What do I truly want my life to be about? So most of us fulfill our parents' dream, our spouse's dreams. What do our friends think, right? We fulfill these societal expectations, but we don't really tune in with our own, we don't connect with our own hearts and in our own inner voice. So that's why we are here, to help you reconnect with your true self, with that inner voice, and find your true alignment and your true purpose in life. I'm so excited to have a great guest today. She's my friend. She's a wellness coach, actress, and does a lot of different interesting things. Maria Shapley. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Anna. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so great to have you here. I know, so great to have you here. I know we wanted to do this for quite some time. And I know that you do a lot of what we actually are teaching our audience here, meditation and removing the unconscious blocks and rewiring your brain for success and abundance. And you're a perfect example of that work because you do that so well.
Thanks.
So tell the audience a little bit about what you do and how you started your journey.
Sure. Yeah. So I do intuitive coaching or intuitive healing. And it's a process where I use my intuition to identify the root cause of why you're feeling stuck, whether this is in relationships, in health, in career, in any area of your life. Clear these blocks to help you move forward, create new choices, new habits, so you can attract better aligned outcomes for you. And my journey started, I would say, when I was young, and I always had this thirst for something better, to continue to learn, to continue to grow and heal. And when I found myself repeating these patterns, I ended up in these relationships that were not very healthy. I was struggling in my career. Even though I was happy, these areas of my life were not a 10 out of 10. And I was like, what do I do about this? And I know it was up to me to do something. And I decided to train my intuition. I thought, I've learned all these other healing modalities. I've always been really curious, but I knew training my intuition, it would allow me to trust myself. And through that training, I learned energy healing techniques to clear these blocks, whether this is, our bodies, the body keeps a score. So when we go through something traumatic in our life, or even if it's not traumatic, these little events shape us. It creates a lens where we see life through this new lens. It creates our behaviors, our actions, and how we speak to ourselves and others. And I know that, okay, if I reprogram me and clear my past, then I'm going to show up differently. And that's exactly what happened for me. And now I've got my coaching business. I have my clients where just the other week.
You can teach other people.
Oh, I can teach other people too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that is the best part, because you can share this and improve somebody else's life. What a gift to give. And you said something that is really in alignment with what our show is about, that inner monologue, the way that you talk to yourself. Tell us about the importance of auto-suggestion, of that inner monologue.
1,000%. Our words shape our world. And if your inner voice is one of criticism or cynicism, or if you have an inner critic, you're just beating yourself up. You want your inner voice to be one of friendliness. How would you treat a friend? That's how you want to treat yourself, with kindness, with love, with compassion, with openness and understanding. And I feel, from my own experience or from working with people or just through life, we can be hard on ourselves. We can judge ourselves or be critical or think, oh, I should have, could have, all these different things, where if you were talking to someone you really loved, hey, it's okay. Like, there's another, you can do it again in the future.
Yeah,
or
there's
just
another opportunity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So be kind of open-minded and self-compassionate.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I always love to use, and speaking of just a bit on words, is that if you ever saw that experiment done by Dr. Masaru Emoto.
Tell the audience a little bit.
Yeah,
That's a great experiment.
So Dr. Masaru Emoto, he is this Japanese scientist where he conducted this experiment using these glasses of water, and he put rice in the water. And the one rice water he neglected and didn't say anything. And the other one, he just thought positive thoughts. I love you. Thank you. And then over a period of time, under this, the certain type of photograph imaging, took images of the water, and the one that was neglected eroded and had all of these like jagged crystals or jagged
Like
shapes,
disharmonious, like
not harmonious. And the other one that
incoherent,
was incoherent. And the other one that just a thought of love or thankfulness. It was beautiful, symmetrical crystals. And that's the power of
harmony.
Yeah, the power of our thoughts and our words.
And because it carries the frequency, every thought carries the certain frequency, and these are elevated emotions: love, gratitude, compassion, and guilt, resentment, fear, hatred are low frequency, and they create a disease in the body over time when you think these negative thoughts.
Yes.
I just want to remind our audience, because by extension, every thought you think in your brain goes through your spinal cord and reflects your entire body. So every cell in your body is listening to your thoughts. So you have to be aware of the thoughts that you're thinking. And so this is when we talk about mindfulness. Every change starts with awareness. So being aware of what you're thinking about. So this is why meditation is so important, because you can observe your own thoughts and emotions from a perspective of silent witness and not identifying with your own thoughts. So can you tell us a little bit of the importance of mindfulness and being really aware of how do I talk to myself? What do I think? How do I feel? When did you make a decision, conscious decision to get on this path and live that awakened life?
I think throughout my entire life, it's always been intrinsic to who I am, this mindfulness or health conscious and always wanting to be a healthy person. However, I think one of the last relationships that wasn't so great, I got out of that relationship and I thought, I really need to just take control of my life. And what do I really want? I know it starts with me and my health and how I feel. And I just became aware. I became the observer. And I noticed that if I'm going to be thinking these thoughts or be self-critical or living in this low vibration, I'm going to keep experiencing the same reality. And by going through this healing modality, it really helped me clear my past, clear those lower vibrational emotions so I can live more optimally.
That is really. And then was there a defining moment, aha moment, or that you remember that when you made a decision, I have to change?
I think I have to change. I think it was
another, like you mentioned, another struggling relationship.
I think it was after one of my last relationships, like 5 years ago. It was like, enough is enough. I can't go through one more. I really can't. Like I physically,
you notice the pattern.
I noticed the pattern. I'm like, this is exhausting. I can't have one more of this. It's like this is disrupting my nervous system. So
and it's not healthy.
Yeah.
And it drains your energy. So, and then there was that last relationship. And how did you transition?
How did I transition? I just really...
You wanted to develop your intuition. So tell us about that journey.
Yeah, I wanted to develop my intuition. I was taking all these workshops. I was immersing myself in the acting world, and I was really making it all about self-love and recognizing that in that process of these relationships, not to blame fault on anyone else, because ultimately it's me. It's me making a choice and not fully loving myself to experience those things. So I really had to fall in love with me.
That is so true. I love how you said that. You mentioned, we mentioned in your bio that you discovered that radical self-love is the ultimate healer. So tell us about how does that look in everyday life?
How that looks in everyday life is waking up with gratitude. I wake up and I'm like, I'm excited to start my day. The sun is shining. I've got water in my glass. I've got my business to work on. I'm going to go to yoga. I'm going to get some, I'm excited to live my life.
So you start your day with gratitude.
Yeah, start with gratitude. And then
Do you journal, or you just mentally acknowledge things you're grateful for?
mentally acknowledge, just like I'm grateful. Maybe sometimes I'll speak it out loud and be like, I'm so grateful for this, or what would it take for this to happen today? And I'll just speak it into existence. And then I'll meditate, either do, I really like transcendental meditation. I'll do 20 minutes of that in the morning. And then I'll connect to the light and I'm just like, okay, what's my intention for the day?
So you set up the intention for every day. And do you also visualize yourself achieving that intention?
Yeah,
Do you do that
I
also?
do.
And tell us a little bit, just quickly, for transcendental meditation, if somebody in our audience would like to try it, what is the core meaning? Like, how does it work?
You go through it's like a three-day class, and your instructor gives you your Sanskrit word, and every person is different. So they give you your Sanskrit word, and then you repeat that mantra for 20 minutes silent, and then the last 2 minutes is a dead pause, and you do that twice a day.
Oh, interesting. So you have your own personalized mantra specifically for you.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Yeah.
And then it transcends the mind, so you are able to calm your nervous system and feel calmer.
Yeah. And it's something about repeating that word. It releases tension, it releases stress in the body. And afterwards, I feel just more balance.
So you feel clarity and calmness.
Yeah.
You're kind of centered. Who doesn't need more of that?
Yeah.
So amazing.
And then if you want to bring in some manifestation into it, you can then start to visualize what's the end result goal that you want to manifest or see in your life. And visualization is so powerful. You just said that, which I like to infuse into my day sometimes too, because when you think a thought, it produces a feeling. And then that feeling will attract similar things to you. Maybe I'm quoting Joe Dispenza right now, but I love
Absolutely.
right?
We love Joe Dispenza. We mention him a lot on the show.
Okay.
So you can totally.
Nice. But yeah, when you do that, a memory is no different than a thought. So a thought you think, you're just priming your subconscious mind to attract that into your reality faster.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And so you suggest starting the day with gratitude, with any form of meditation, and maybe some breathing. Do you do any breath work?
Yeah, I do. I like, I used to, I'm still trained in Buteyko, which is an incredible breathing method. It emphasizes the importance of nasal breathing and breathing slow, light, and low in and out through your nose. And I would say in the morning, I would do, you can do in for 4 through your nose and out for 6, and the extended exhale will induce relaxation. Or if you want to get a boost of energy, on the end of the exhale, you can hold your nose for as long as you can, time it, and then breathe back in through your nose. So you're getting a boost of nitric oxide, which is going to open up your blood flow. It's going to give you a boost of oxygen, which will increase energy.
So longer exhalation than the inhalation.
For relaxation.
And if you want to feel more energized, what's the difference?
Energy, on the end of the exhale, you hold, and what you're doing is increasing CO2, which is going to increase lung capacity. The greater the lungs, the greater the health. And when you do that, afterwards, you breathe back in through your nose, so you get all the nitric oxide benefits. And that over time is going to expand your lungs and it'll improve oxygen delivery, blood flow, circulation, and that will give you more energy.
What is it about nitric oxide that is so powerful? That chemical, or it's so
nitric
powerful?
Oxide.
Nitric oxide, yeah.
We simply get nitric oxide through breathing. So breathing through our nose right now, we're getting some nitric oxide, and it's something that...
Make sure that everyone now pause and take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your nose. There we go. We got some.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
And what that does, it sterilizes the blood. It sterilizes the blood. It improves oxygen delivery to the brain, to the organs, the heart, to the tissues, the cells. And it acts like as a vasodilator, which is really good for heart health.
Amazing. That is so helpful. And then can you tell us what inner belief or mindset help you overcome your biggest challenge? Or maybe the mindset that you needed to develop in order to overcome?
I believe it was self-doubt I was dealing with and not feeling enough. And overcoming those two beliefs, or those limiting beliefs, allowed me to really step into who I truly am. I am confident, I am capable, and the results show.
Why do you think why so many people struggle with self-doubt? And first thing when you want to start a business or something good happens, automatically there is that voice pops up and says, oh, it's not going to work. You can't do it. It didn't work before. You don't have what it takes.
That comes from, it could be someone else's views. It can come from society. It can come from your family's point of views. Usually we're not born with self-doubt. Maybe if we're talking about past lives or something, hey, we come in here with our own karma or our things to work through in this lifetime, but we are love. We're born here to experience life in its greatest form, but then we experience life and we get these limiting beliefs from other people. And if you're someone who does have self-doubt or feels lack of confidence, or maybe you're not good enough, I would ask you, what was the first time you felt something similar to this? What was the first time that you felt like, I feel like I doubt myself? What emotion does that bring up? It brings up maybe shame.
Guilt.
Or guilt.
Unworthiness. All of those.
Where do you feel that in your body? You know,
Interesting.
And then who did you get it from? Your mom, your dad, yourself, or someone else? And so you get to the root cause and you go, oh, okay. And then you go layer by layer. And then a memory will come up or a story will come up, and bringing that to awareness and then clearing it energetically allows you to just move through that belief and then reprogram a new one.
So you release that energetic block. And how do you do that? Do you do it through breathing or?
Through connecting to the light.
Interesting. So you literally shine the light on that.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
So I'll bring in the light for the client, or I'll guide them through a process of connecting to the light. And when you connect to the light, source light. And what is what I mean by that? Source light is, or God is, where we all come from. And when you connect to this place, you can more easily see your blocks. You can create more miracles in your life just by bringing in the light. And you'll feel that. You'll feel like, I feel this weight in my gut. And when you bring in the light and you start to clear it, then it starts to shift. Just a couple weeks ago, I was working with a client who has been dealing with Lyme's disease and an inflammation in his toe.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, the clients I work with, it's all different, right? But we're talking about body issues right now. And his toe was in so much pain, can barely, like when he walks up a hill, excruciating pain. Like on a scale from 1 to 10, he was an 8 or 9 in pain. I did a 60-minute session with him, worked on his toe, and he didn't really do energy work before, maybe once before in his life. He was like kind of skeptical. And his pain went down to a 3, and he's like, I have not had pain in since the session.
How amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
Those are beliefs in there. Those are the beliefs hanging out in your toe.
Because that is true. We do store in our bodies all the experiences. So it shows as a pain or very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, he's so lucky he found you.
Oh,
So,
thanks.
so my next question would be, what were some of the biggest unconscious blocks that you had to clear out, and how did you recognize them?
The biggest unconscious blocks I had to clear out were the stories that I went through in my childhood. For me, it would be self-doubt, it would be I'm not good enough, and fear of abandonment. And what I learned is that when we are a baby, ages 0 to 7, that's when we're most susceptible. We're in a delta theta brainwave state, and we're learning from society, mom and dad, how to be a person in the world.
And subconscious is wide open, so everything goes into subconscious.
Yes. So if I grew up in an environment where mom and dad were always fighting, and they really were. I mean, I have many stories to tell, but I went through a lot. I've experienced a lot in my life and many different challenges and struggles. And I learned that relationships are hard. You know, people leave you, maybe neglected, or it hurts, or I'm not loved. And people do the best that they can do with the resources and the awareness that they have. And it's not to blame, but to just take the label of mom and dad off of them and just see them as a human being. This is for people who have maybe went through challenges in their life. Hey, we're all a person doing our best in the world. And yeah, we all have choice.
No judgment.
Yeah.
Because they're doing their best.
Yeah.
They were definitely not doing it intentionally to hurt you, or it's just the way that was their reality. And children, unfortunately, do not have the ability to accept and reject. They just absorb everything that's happening around them.
Yes.
And later on, 20 years later, it can show up as a problem.
Yeah.
That you don't know why you have it, but it's because something you experienced as a baby. So.
Yeah.
And you go with your clients back to these stories from childhood to uncover these unconscious patterns.
Yeah.
No.
And a lot of the time, well, sometimes my clients don't even remember that memory. I'll say, okay, I see you 6 years old, you're with mom, your dad, your mom was like this, because being intuitive is kind of fun. You can see which memories pop up.
Interesting.
And they'll be like, oh yeah, that's right, that did happen. And so it brings the unconscious to light.
And then when somebody becomes aware, they can move past that block.
They become aware. That's the first step, being aware, but then also bringing in the energy, clearing the energy, and then reprogram with the new belief you want to believe.
If somebody does not understand this, it would be like a river flow, and there is literally a block, I don't know, piece of wood or some limiting belief that is blocking the flow. And then when you remove it, the energy can flow back freely.
So funny you said that. I just used that same analogy in my email blast too. Yeah, I just used that same one. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's easy when you understand the flow of the river, something that is natural and flowing, and then there is something blocking it.
Yeah.
Creates the
disharmony.
Exactly. And then so if for somebody out there just starting that mindfulness journey, where would you suggest they begin?
I would begin, if you want to be more mindful, begin by being aware of your surroundings. If you're someone who is anxious or you're constantly in your head, just be aware right now. Right now, if you're sitting or wherever you are, just notice where you're sitting. And I feel that I'm sitting on this chair. I see this light in front of me. I see this. And just become aware of your surroundings and know that I'm here right now. I'm present. I'm not back there. I'm not in the future. I'm present.
So become aware of present moment.
Yeah.
That's where all the power lives, like Dr. Joe Dispenza and many coaches are teaching. So most people live in their past or worrying about the future, but aligning with the present. Right. And what would you suggest then? To maybe write down these thoughts or...
Yeah. I think journaling is a great way to get your thoughts onto paper, because when they're not so scrambled in your mind and you get it onto something else, it's like, it's like, release it onto the paper. That's a great way. Meditation's a great way. Breath work is really good because you block out all thoughts and you become really focused on your breath. And that starts to retrain your brain over time to turn off the mental chatter and become present.
Great suggestion. That's really helpful for someone just starting the connection with their own inner knowing. So how would you define intuition? And how can our audience start to strengthen that relationship with inner knowing, with their own intuition?
Intuition is that inner knowing. It's that gut feeling. It's that sixth sense that says that either something is okay or not okay. I don't know why, but I just know. It's your GPS system. And the first way you can start to develop your intuition is, one, by connecting to the light, because the light brings in truth. Intuition is access at a higher vibration. And I just always teach my clients, step number 1, connect to the light. That would be the first thing.
How do they do that?
How they do that? So you can close your eyes and imagine you're 300 feet tall or your head's above the clouds where you see or sense a light. And usually when you pray, you can sense this feeling or this light and start to bring this light into the top of your crown. And as this light comes into the top of your crown, it's bringing clarity and truth, opening up your intuitive abilities. Allow this white light to go throughout your face, your eyes, your ears, your throat, opening up your expression, your truth. And see this light going throughout your heart, your solar plexus, your stomach, your sacral, your hips, your root. And follow this light all the way throughout your legs, knees, calves, and out your feet. Then imagine out the bottom of your feet are like roots of a tree going down to the center of the planet where you connect to Mother Earth. And some people see this as a pyramid or a crystal-like dimension, but when they connect there, it's as if you need to take a breath. And then bring both lights from above and below into the center of your heart and radiate it out 360 degrees and send this light 10 feet around you, 20 feet around you, as far as you like it to go, say past the city, past the state. And there's a comfortable place where people feel good extending their light. Mm-hmm. And then you'll feel, how did I feel before connecting to the light to how I feel now?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Interesting. It's mostly like connecting to your energetic body or mental body. In yoga, we have physical body. We have 5 layers of existence, but that would be your mental body.
Yeah.
Extend your body beyond your physical self. So
Yeah,
that is something that Tony Robbins also has this in his priming exercise, something similar, a little bit faster version of it. But it is from up to the roots to the center of the earth, back to the center, and he does it in his priming.
I know what you're talking about.
And it's so powerful because it helps you somehow overcome the perceived limitation, and it doesn't even look that significant anymore because you kind of expand yourself.
Right. Like, I'm much greater than this problem I thought was such an issue. Wait, what? True. I am the universe.
Yes. You see it from a different perspective. From a different angle. And it changes and we know that everything in our life is just the point of view, perception of reality. So that is really incredible. And so did we answer that? How do you define intuition, and how can somebody start connecting with their intuition in the audience?
Yeah, start by 1, connecting to the light, and then you can ask yourself, scale 1 to 10, or feel in your body, what does a yes versus no feel like? So
I have a question here. So what would be the difference? Sometimes how where people actually start not trusting themselves is when you, let's say, think of a challenging situation. Let's say you have to have a public presentation, and we know that public speaking is the number 1 fear. So it is totally normal that you will feel uncomfortable. So how can somebody recognize what is the actual resistance that you're feeling towards something? Because we know that we have to grow out of our comfort zone in order to move forward in lives. So how do we know the difference between a true intuition and something that we shouldn't be doing, and something that we might have a resistance and that we actually should stretch ourselves and do it?
I see. Okay, right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, because you always have a resistance when you want to try something new.
Yes.
Because brain has a natural resistance to change. So how do we recognize
what is fear versus what is true in light? So intuition is light. Intuition is truth. And you'll usually feel this in some area of your body. I usually feel it in my chest. If something feels light and truthful, I feel this lightness in my chest. If something is dense and heavy, like a no, or if it's fear, maybe I'll feel it in my gut, or it feels dense, like a thud.
And then it's something you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. So if there's something like public speaking and I get nervous and I get tight and tense, is this fear, or is this my intuition warning me not to do it?
So how can you tap maybe several days and give yourself time to really discover which one is it?
Yeah.
So if something feels like maybe a torture, and then you should really back off.
Yes.
But if something feels uncomfortable because you need to push yourself.
You need to push yourself.
Then, just be, I think it requires certain honesty with yourself.
1000%.
To really know, are you like taking the easy way out, or you really are hurting yourself?
That's right. Yep.
Okay. So just to distinguish those two, to be clear on which one.
Yes.
Because I also have clients, I teach yoga and meditation, and most people live in their comfort zone, and nothing can happen in a comfort zone. You do need to stretch yourself and challenge yourself and improve. And that means like, doing public speaking, maybe filming a video, even if you don't like watching yourself on a camera. But if you,
Yeah. And why do you want to push yourself? Why do you want to stretch yourself? Because doesn't it feel great when you make progress? Like happiness, I think Tony Robbins said this, happiness equals progress. And when we're not making progress in our life, we're just stagnant, we're stuck. And we want to grow into the highest version of ourselves. Why not? We have this life, at least in this lifetime right now, to live. Why not?
The highest expression of ourselves.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
It can be fun.
It can be fun.
This is so important. Maybe in that moment, if you cannot recognize, is it fear or is it comfort zone, to maybe go back to your why. What is this going to, why am I doing it? And then if you have a reason and you know why you're doing something, proceed.
Yes.
And otherwise, just if it's not serving you in any way, stay away from it.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
That could be going back to that why. That is so important.
Definitely.
And you already answered this. So they can just say this are shifting. Okay, so if somebody watching right now feels stuck in that survival mode, okay, so they have some unconscious block, what step would you recommend from them to do in order to start moving past that point?
Self-care, nervous system regulation. If you're stuck in survival mode, that's a fight or flight response. And the best thing you can do is self-care. And what does self-care look like to you? It could be more hydration, more proper hydration. It could be exercise, getting those serotonin and the dopamine. Yeah.
Oxytocin, all those up.
Yeah. It could be connecting with a loved one and really reaching out to your people and strengthening those social connections. It could be learning something new, a new skill that really benefits you in your life. Self-care is key.
Connecting to your heart, anything, maybe yoga.
Yoga. Yoga is great. Yoga has been pivotal in my life. I've been doing it for many years and I'm certified in that as well. It is such a way to connect mind, body, and spirit and to relax.
So fast.
Yeah, it really is. And it's a great workout. Try yoga, seriously.
It also raises the energy level in the system. And who doesn't need more energy for everything that you want to create?
Yeah.
And so you said doing the yoga. If you can explain meditation to somebody who never meditated before and they think like monkey mind and I cannot meditate, I can't sit in silence, not even for 1 minute. What would you tell them? What is the benefit of meditation and how can they start even small today with 1 minute a day? What would you tell them?
I would tell them one thing you can do is start by focusing on your breathing. Set a timer for 10 minutes and say for these next 10 minutes, I'm just going to focus on the inhale of my breath and the exhale of my breath. And the slower I breathe through my nose, the better. And just focus on that. And if you feel a thought come in, just notice it like a cloud. It's a cloud passing by. You know, you're the observer of your thoughts. Your thoughts aren't you. And then if you notice it, just come right back to your breath. But do it for 10 minutes.
So in silence, where you're not interrupted, give yourself some time, relax your body, and observe your breath and your thoughts.
Yes.
That's a basic mindfulness technique.
Yes.
The first layer.
First layer.
Just not identifying with your thoughts, observing them, because this gives you an option to choose a different thought or a different response. It is so important.
Yeah.
You have to understand that your thoughts are not yours. And even if you're thinking a thought, does not mean it's true. This is so important. Sometimes we have a thought that we picked up somewhere and it's actually not the truth.
Someone else's thought you could be picking up.
Yes.
We are like these energetic.
It's like a tuning into frequencies, like a radio.
Like, what was that I was just thinking? Wasn't even my thought.
Yes. And the best way is literally tuning the radio to like a gratitude station.
Yeah.
Compassion, love,
Yeah.
abundance instead of lack and limitation.
Right.
Different station.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. And you literally, this is it's not like do it once and you're done. This is a continuous process and you have to do this every day. It requires perseverance and it requires energy and focus. So every time when you catch yourself, notice and change the pattern.
And telling you the payoff and the cost is so great because right now, if you're in a place of lack or scarcity or fight or flight and you can't turn off the monkey mind, what is that costing you in life? It's costing you your health, your happiness, your relationships. It's really costing you everything.
It's not helping you at
It's
all.
not helping you at all. So your only other choice is the path of healing, is the path of light, of mindfulness, where you take control of your reality. And just with a little bit of effort, a little bit of discipline, it becomes easier over time and the quality of your life will improve drastically.
And your health and your relationships. And why not love yourself?
Yeah.
Because you're a wonderful human being, God's highest form of creation. Why not give yourself a chance to create a life that you want and then you can? It's like just shifting that mindset and believing in yourself.
Yes.
Really, truly, that you're capable, that you're worthy, that you're abundant. And you can really, from that point, you can actually do anything that you want.
Yes.
By first making that decision. I also wanted to ask you, what is one habit or daily practice that keeps you aligned with your vision or with that higher self?
It is embodying her, stepping into her, seeing the version of me, my highest self. What does she look like? What is she wearing? How does she feel? Who is she around? And I step into that and I just feel that version of me. I'm like, okay, she already exists. Like that, all the things that I want already exist because if I can imagine it, then I can bring it into reality. So I just embody the feeling.
Embody the feeling and the behavior maybe of that higher self. So how would she show up?
Yeah, she's going to show up if I'm the highest version of myself who's achieved all my goals. I'm in the incredible marriage and whatever.
Financial abundance. Yeah,
And
you would feel happy.
I'm
going
to walk around like that.
Yeah.
And that's a good reminder too, because I do it myself where you forget. I forget that, wait, that is already me. So why am I not living my life like excited every day?
That's how you change your energy.
Yeah.
And then you attract totally different life to yourself.
Yeah.
And you're right. You constantly have to remind yourself. This is an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true because you already have that. You would be happy. You would be giving. You would be compassionate. You would spread, totally different energy than if you're waiting for that to happen.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes. And then who inspired you the most in life to begin this mindfulness journey? And what did they teach you? Can you remember? Was it a book or a certain coach? Or a circumstance, or maybe a life experience.
I think it was a life experience. Well, I started my healing journey in my early 20s, I would say, when I first became curious about being a fitness instructor and starting my own business then, and then exploring shamanic psychology and working with different plants, and then getting into the intuitive coaching. So I think it was my curiosity for wanting to better myself in my life stemming from a young age. I've always just wanted to learn and grow. But then when I really got deep into mindfulness and the work that I do now was around 4 or 5 years ago when I just said enough's enough. I'm not going to do one more crappy relationship and I want to better myself in my life.
It starts with that decision.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is what Dr. Joe Dispenza always talks about. People get addicted to life that they don't even like.
Yeah.
Chemically.
Yes.
They stay in abusive relationship because they need that rush of adrenaline and dopamine. So that's a very important thing to understand. People who always go back to abusive relationships.
Yes.
So it's almost like a drug addict.
It's like a drug addict, right?
What is the rush of these chemicals? It is so crazy.
It's an addiction.
People literally do things that are not good for them and they keep doing them.
Yes.
So breaking that chemical bondage with these behaviors is very freeing. That is so true.
Yeah.
So true. And so when things feel uncertain or heavy, how do you reconnect back with that highest vision of yourself?
When things feel uncertain or heavy, I usually move my body. I first go right to my body. What do I need to go for a walk outside? Do I need to drink some water? Do I need sunshine? Do I need to go to yoga? What am I going to do with my body right now to get the energy moving? Because if I'm stuck in this fear, stagnation, get the energy going.
So changing your energy by changing your body, changing
my
your
physiology.
physiology.
Yeah.
And if somebody struggles out there and they cannot go for a run or go to yoga class, they just like have allergy to like, oh, I don't like to exercise.
Yeah.
How they can just shift their mindset in order to try something. And you have those people who are like, oh no, there's no way. That's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. I hate it. I don't like people looking at me. They feel uncomfortable in a group setting.
Yeah.
So how would you tell them that nobody actually cares and everybody's obsessed about how they look?
Yes.
Nobody's actually looking at you.
Right.
Don't worry. Everybody's worried about how they look.
Yes.
Nobody's looking.
It's the truth.
Yes. So how would you, I always struggle with this. I have my own sister who does not want to go take a yoga class. And I'm telling her that it can change her entire life, that her problems at work would disappear by her changing her energy. And she doesn't want to do it. What can you maybe think of something, what would be a motivating, because telling them you should do it, it's good for you, does not work.
That's
We
right.
all know that. So
that's right.
Do you have any idea?
I would say you can just encourage, you can educate, you can inform, but forcing someone to do something, it's like it never works that well. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink the water. I would say, like, hey, if this is an ongoing struggle or challenge in your life, here are some options for you. Which feels best to you? Maybe it's not yoga. Is there some like another exercise that feels more fun and aligned for you? Another thing you could do is by simply connecting to the light. I know even if you do it for yourself, just a simple connect, you go, I feel much calmer now. I feel more relaxed. And it just shifts you out of that raciness to presence.
Calmness and presence. I think that that's actually a problem with that. We have a growth mindset and fixed mindset. So I think that those people who don't want to try something new, they have a fixed mindset. They think it cannot be changed, it cannot be done.
Right.
So that is the problem.
That is
the worst, because people who are hungry for change and they want to change, they know that they have a problem, they're aware, they're like, I want to change this. I don't want to live this way. Tell me, what can I do differently? But you have people who keep doing the exact same thing and they're expecting the different result. And they think and blame everybody else around them. And it's everybody else's fault. It's nobody's fault. Everybody's doing their best. It's all about awareness. So I always, I was so lucky that I was trained from a young age from my dad that taught me to read books. He always was telling me, if you don't read, you will be a total ignorant and you will never get anywhere in life. And I remember that because I didn't like reading when I was young. I started reading later when I was in college. And every good book is like a journey. You're engaged in a conversation with the author. You learn new concepts. You're literally expanding your own life. And the power of actually reading somebody else's experience it's priceless.
Yeah.
And it just explaining somebody that they can change anything, whatever you're facing on right now, what it can be, financial problems, relationships, health, overweight, whatever area in your life, you can change it. You can truly change it. There's people doing it. There is a science behind it. So you just need to start thinking that you actually can.
Yes.
And that's my biggest mission, to move people, whatever you're feeling right now, it's just a perceived like limiting belief.
Yes.
And you can overcome it no matter how hard. And it can be hard. Like, trust me, like, I lived in a country that was bombed. Like, we were bombed by NATO, like hiding in basements.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so you can change it. You can overcome it no matter what kind of trauma you had. We all know that Oprah Winfrey had a huge traumatic childhood.
Yeah.
And a lot of very great coaches and thought leaders of our time. Dr. Joe Dispenza had a huge spinal injury that he overcame with the power of his thinking. So I always encourage people to learn more.
Yes.
Be informed.
Yes.
Especially today with AI, Google it, find the answer, find the book. There's so much out there.
Yes.
And spend time with it, whatever you're struggling with. Find a coach, maybe Maria, watch our show, ask us questions. I think that most people, when they struggle with something, they just keep doing it, keep reliving it, and it's just the way it is. It's not.
It's not.
It is created.
Yeah.
You sometimes create it just by the way you think.
Yeah.
You can change your behavior. You can exercise. There's so many different coaches out there. It's just believing. I think that's also the problem of faith.
Yes.
Like faith, believing, in God or intelligence, or believing in yourself, just believing in yourself that you can, that you're capable, that you can do anything.
That's right.
It's so powerful.
It's very powerful. Yeah. Just start by, changing your beliefs. That can change your entire life.
Exactly. And how you work with your clients also on changing the beliefs and removing the unconscious blocks.
Oh yeah. Because beliefs that when you change, so belief holds an energy or a vibration. And when you clear that belief, you start to change. You're like, I'm not operating from that belief anymore. I don't feel so weighed down by that. But so a lot of what I do is clearing limiting beliefs, unconscious trauma, suppressed emotions in the body.
Just what you just said, you release the energy.
Yeah.
So you actually can use that energy that is trapped by that emotion or a thought. You use that energy somewhere else where it's going to serve you.
Yes. So you bring in new energy. The body naturally heals. You start to make better choices because you don't have that. You don't have that energy anymore, or that belief, that program. Then you bring in, what's a new one that I want to replace it with?
More empowering, elevated emotion.
Yeah.
Like love, compassion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So amazing. And if you can leave our audience today with a powerful message, what would it be?
One powerful message I will leave you with is you have the power of choice. You are a creator being. You have the power of choice, and you can create any life you want. No matter what you've gone through, if you make the decision to do something different, you will get a different result. So I would say believe in yourself. Surround yourself with a couple people who believe in you too. Support system's really good. And have fun along the way. Like, even if you do decide to go on a healing path and clear your limiting beliefs and really become this version of you, infuse fun into it, infuse belief into it, infuse, I believe in myself. Be curious, have fun.
That is so amazing what you just said.
Yeah.
One of my role models is Sarah Blakely. I don't know if you know who Sarah Blakely is.
Yeah,
Founder
me
of
too.
Spanx.
Me too. Yeah.
She's just having so much fun. Nobody believed in her. Everybody thought that her product sucked. She couldn't even find a manufacturer. They thought that she was a joke.
Right.
Yes,
her story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they thought that people put prank on them. The guy was like, I was looking in my office if my friends put a hidden camera. Like, her idea was so bad. Did you hear that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He's like, I thought my friends put a prank on me and there is a hidden camera. They sent me this lady with this crazy idea.
My gosh.
Yeah. Sarah Blakely talks about it. And she now sold a company for $1 billion.
Incredible.
And she always talks about having fun.
Yeah.
No, I screw it. Let's just have fun. Why does it have to be hard?
Right.
Yeah,
it doesn't
that is
have to
true.
be hard. Yep.
Sense of humor is very important. And it's a healing emotion too.
Yes.
You laugh at yourself. You're like, you don't take yourself so seriously. You're like, I messed up, whatever. I'll do better next time.
Yeah.
Yes, that is so true. Healing power.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Maria. You are so inspirational. Can you tell us your social media, where our audience can find you online?
Yeah. You can find me on social media. Instagram is @MariaShapester. And you go to my website, either thefigaro.co or intuitivecoachmaria.com.